So what is up everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and it's finally here. Today we are comparing the $125 gaming PC to the one and only PS4 Pro. Now it is an unfair comparison. I mean, PS4 Pro is 3 times more expensive than the PC itself. Now the reason of making this video is to show you how capable PC gaming can be, even though if you didn't build a gaming PC equivalent to the PS4 Pro. So you have some things that a PS4 Pro doesn't have. One of them being the huge Steam library, a lot of games that you can play on Steam, and it's not on PS4 Pro. And also some people are actually working Pro anymore to play PS3 games. And also you can adjust these settings to your personal preference. Maybe you want higher frame rates, or you maybe want better quality or higher resolution. I mean, some developers are trying hard to do that on the PS4 Pro, like in Rise of the Tomb Raider for example, but it's not in every game. And also there are other developers that didn't even do PS4 Pro update to their games, which is again an advantage for the PC. If you don't know, the $125 gaming PC is made of an RX 460, 4GB of RAM, and a Pentium G2020. It's a dual core CPU based on LGA's 1155 socket. It's a budget CPU 4 years ago. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video about that CPU. Anyway, the PS4 Pro has 8GB of RAM, a Jaguar 8-core CPU, and a GPU equivalent to an RX 470. Now I'm doing this video pretty quick. It's one part of a lot of parts, so you might want to stay tuned if you want to see more comparisons to this PC compared in another games. But I guess I've tested about 7 games, and let's get to it. So first off, we have Rise of the Tomb Raider, and as you know, the PS4 Pro is capable of doing a lot of things on this game. You can choose either if you want to get higher resolution or higher quality or higher frame rates. Now when you select the high resolution settings, you are capable of playing this game at 4K resolution using checkerboarding, and when you play on higher quality, obviously you're playing on 1080p, the highest quality possible on this game. It's a pretty powerful GPU, so I guess it's maxed out. And the higher frame rates, you're basically playing at somewhere around 40 to 45 frames per second with some reduced settings in 1080p. Now our PC was able to play this game at 1080p ultra settings, 30 frames per second. I don't have footage of that, so you might want to check the original video. Now on high resolution, we couldn't hit 30 frames per second of 4K. At 1800p lowest settings, we were able to go somewhere around 27 to 30 frames per second. At 1440p medium settings, I was able to get a rock solid 30 frames per second. Now there is a resolution between 1440p and 1800p called 1620p, but that's not an AMD's virtual super resolution option, so you might want to add this resolution yourself in AMD's Crimson driver. Now there was some stutters, but that's because of the CPU. Keep in mind this is a $125 gaming PC, so you can spend an extra $30 to $40 on an i3 2120. You will have yourself a pretty decent gaming PC. Next game was Far Cry Primal, and I was able to play that game at 1800p low settings. I was getting frame rates somewhere around 24 to 28 frames per second. Maybe if you overclock this GPU, you get 30 frames per second. I also played it at 1440p medium settings, and I was getting frame rates somewhere around 30 to 40 frames per second. Now this is pretty funny. Far Cry Primal is a sequel to Far Cry 4, and Far Cry 4 had some issues working on dual core processor. Now right now we are running the new game on a dual core processor, and it's not fully utilized, so the creators of the game did an excellent job there. Next up we have Doom, and I've had a lot of problems with that game actually. Before I go into the benchmark, I wasn't capable of running Vulkan for a reason I am not aware of. To kind of make it even, I disabled the shadows using some of the console commands, assuming that you would get the same performance if you ran the game on Vulkan. I know it's not fair, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and I got a really great performance increase without a major loss in quality, to be honest with you. Now at 1800p low settings with the resolution scale set at 90%, I was able to get a stable 30 frames per second. Again, because of having a dual core CPU, I got a 2 to 3 second freeze, and also at 1440p medium setting, I was able to get frame rates between 40 to 45 frames per second. Now the PS4 Pro plays that game at an upscaled 4K 60 frames per second, so that's an obvious loss gaming PC. Now next game is Rocket League, and I ran this game at 1440p maxed out settings. I was able to get a frame rate around 90 frames per second. PS4 Pro again plays finish this game at 4K, but I wasn't able to get this game to 4K for some reason. I didn't find the resolution in these settings, so I'm calling it a tie, but I'll leave it to you if you have a different opinion. Next up was Paladins, and at 1800p lowest settings, I was able to get frame rates around 30-35 frames per second. I'm not a huge fan of Paladins. I didn't play it that much. I only used it for testing. It's another loss for the PC because the PS4 Pro is capable of playing this game at 4K, 60 frames per second. Next up is the Surge, and I was able to play that game at 1440p low or medium settings, and I got a stable 30 frames per second. Now keep in mind that the PS4 Pro only plays that game at 1600p, so we're not that far behind from the PS4 Pro. Now these are all the games that I've tested so far, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm looking forward to hearing your opinion about this gaming PC. Next video we'll be reviewing the RX 460 and trying to mine Ethereum on it, even though it's a 2GB GPU. So thanks for watching, hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.